Hi, I'm Jay McGowan, and I'm excited to be here to tell you how to build a practical insider threat program and actually make it work for any size organization. I have over 20 years experience in the cybersecurity and insider threat space of building and managing successful programs. If you're not convinced you need an insider threat program today, do you know how many of your users are abusing their authorized access, privileged users accessing stuff they shouldn't be, people moving files to the cloud, your users bypassing current security controls? Let's talk about how we're going to get this started and who should own it. So before we talk about how to build an insider threat program, let's talk about what is an insider threat. An insider can be a trusted employee, contractor, partner, or third-party vendor who unwittingly or wittingly puts your company at risk. The reason you should implement an insider threat program, beyond the obvious of catching bad actors, is to strengthen the core of your organization. And as we know, the core of any organization is your people. Regardless if they're out of policy or being targeted by hackers, you want to be able to build and manage a holistic program. Let me give you an example. Any of your employees can be victim to a targeted phishing attack. Traditional security teams may be catching 5% of what's coming through, if they're lucky, and that leaves them with a false sense of security. A good insider threat program is going to have context and visibility into the other 95% to help mitigate the risk to your organization. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that 5% from the traditional security team, and we're going to correlate that with other events and other data that we have access to, and then we're going to go and talk to the user to find out if they received other emails or other weird activity that's unusual for them. And this is just one example of many, and generally there are no two events that are ever going to be exactly the same. Starting an insider threat program is a business initiative that involves the highest level of leadership and includes your business functions of security, your information technology, human resources, and legal and privacy executives. The first step is to have all of those leaders sitting at the same table saying we support this, shaking their head in the same direction, and then moving forward so that support can be pushed down to the program level where the implementation is going to take place. This is going to empower the insider threat program to have the proper oversight and functionality to be successful. Now that you've received the buy-in from the leadership in your organization, you're ready to start fielding your insider threat team. From my experience, the first person you're going to be looking for is going to be your insider threat program manager. Now this is probably a security body that you already have within your organization here. So you're going to bring him in and we're going to train him to turn him into a multi-discipline leader. We're going to begin with some interviewing techniques and forensic capabilities. Then we're going to move on to our partners in human resources to learn about background files, and employee data. And then we're going to move on to our legal and privacy folks to learn about the thresholds of what's legal for your organization and how to protect that private and sensitive data. After we do this, you're going to have a multi-discipline leader who is empowered to manage your insider threat program. And after we finish this, we need to move on and talk about the tools that we're going to use. To effectively detect and deter, you have to be as close as possible to the user on the endpoint. This is typically accomplished by deploying an agent onto the endpoints. This is going to allow for deep video forensics. The presence is also going to allow for security awareness and blocking possible malicious or negligent activity. At the end of the day, your people are your biggest risk, whether they're goofing up, getting infected, or causing some other type of malicious activity. A good insider threat program will mitigate these risks. If you want to learn more, check out the insider threat experts at observeit.com.